for one unexpected moment at Stanford Stadium, everything seemed to stop. The cheers were loud, the lights were dazzling. Tens of thousands of Army were screaming at the top of their lungs, trying to capture every second of the unforgettable night. It was supposed to be another magical moment during BTS Arirang 2026, filled with laughter, emotional fan service, and the kind of unforgettable energy only BTS could create. But then, something changed, and somehow all eyes landed on Jimin, because for a brief moment, fans noticed something unusual. Something about Jimin's expression, something about the way he suddenly looked around, something about the way he smiled, only for that smile to disappear a second later. And naturally, Army noticed everything. At first, no one thought much of it. Jimin had been absolutely glowing during the Stanford show. From the second he stepped onto the stage, fans couldn't stop talking about how happy he looked. His energy was playful, warm, and deeply emotional. Every movement felt effortless, every smile looked genuine, and every interaction with fans seemed personal, even inside a massive stadium packed with thousands. This wasn't just performer Jimin. This felt like our Jimin. The Jimin who never misses a chance to wave at fans in the farthest seats. The Jimin who reads banners carefully. The Jimin who notices tiny details that most people would miss. And Stanford? It quickly became one of those nights Army knew they would never forget, especially because Jimin looked unusually emotional from the beginning. Throughout the concert, fans noticed how often he kept glancing into the crowd, not casually, but intentionally, as if he was trying to absorb every face, every light stick, every moment. At one point, during a Mint segment, Jimin reportedly paused for a little longer than usual before speaking. He smiled softly, then looked across the audience, and for a second, it almost felt like he was overwhelmed. Of course, Army immediately felt it, because when it comes to Jimin, fans know his expressions almost too well. A tiny smile? They notice. A nervous laugh? They definitely notice. A sudden silence? Oh, they definitely notice. But nobody expected what would happen later. According to fans at Stanford, the atmosphere changed during one of Jimin's closer interactions with the audience. As BTS moved across the extended stage, Jimin started making eye contact with fans holding signs. And as always, he looked genuinely curious, reading messages, reacting to funny banners, pointing at people in the crowd. It was classic Jimin behavior, sweet, playful, completely heart-melting. Until suddenly, something caught his attention. Fans near the barricade began reacting wildly after Jimin paused near a specific section of the crowd. Videos circulating among Army showed him briefly stopping, staring toward the audience, then covering his face while laughing nervously. And that is the exact moment everything exploded online, because fans immediately began asking, "Wait, why does Jimin look panicked? What happened? Did someone say something? Why is he blushing?" Within minutes, clips from Stanford started spreading across fandom spaces, and everyone had their own theory. Some thought Jimin had seen an emotional fan message. Others believed he was overwhelmed by the intensity of the crowd. And then, there were fans convinced something hilariously unexpected had happened. Because honestly, this was peak Jimin behavior. The man who can confidently dominate an entire stadium suddenly turning shy? That sounded very, very familiar. If there's one thing longtime Army knows, it's this. Jimin can be incredibly confident until fans unexpectedly make him flustered. And Stanford seemed to prove exactly that. Several fan accounts described a moment where Jimin appeared to react to a particularly bold fan sign. Nobody could fully agree on exactly what it said. Some joked it was overly dramatic. Others claimed it was emotional enough to make anyone melt. But whatever happened, Jimin's reaction became the story of the night. Because instead of immediately recovering, he reportedly looked adorably overwhelmed. He laughed, covered his face again, turned around dramatically, then walked away for a moment as if trying to regain composure. And Army completely lost it. The screams became even louder. Fans started laughing, cheering, and shouting his name across the stadium. It became one of those unexpectedly chaotic BTS moments where nobody fully understands what's happening anymore, but somehow everyone's emotionally invested. Honestly, that's part of why fans love Jimin so much, because even after years of global fame, sold-out stadiums, and millions of people watching him, there's still something incredibly genuine about him. He never feels distant. He never feels unreachable. Instead, Jimin often reacts exactly the way someone naturally would. Embarrassed when fans say something sweet, shy when attention suddenly turns toward him, emotional when ARMY expresses love too sincerely. And Stanford, it felt like one giant reminder of that side of him. What made the moment even more emotional was how quickly Jimin seemed determined to reconnect with fans afterward. Instead of staying embarrassed, he reportedly returned to the same section later, waving, smiling, and making sure everyone knew he was okay. That small gesture, ARMY noticed immediately, because that's another thing about Jimin. Even when he's overwhelmed, he still worries about fans. He still tries to reassure people. He still somehow manages to make thousands of people feel seen. And if we're being honest, that's exactly why moments like this hit so hard emotionally. For many fans, Jimin's relationship with ARMY has always felt unusually sincere. Not perfect, not scripted, but deeply real. Over the years, fans have watched him grow through vulnerable moments, emotional speeches, tears, laughter, and quiet gestures that somehow say more than words ever could. There's a reason fans constantly describe him as comforting, because Jimin has a way of making massive spaces feel strangely personal. Even at a stadium, even surrounded by thousands of screaming people, even under impossible pressure, he still somehow finds individual moments. A single eye contact, a wave, a smile toward a specific section, a tiny reaction that fans remember forever. And Stanford gave ARMY another one of those memories. Of course, social media exploded afterward. Fans everywhere began sharing clips, screenshots, and emotional reactions. Some couldn't stop replaying the moment. Others joked that Jimin had been attacked by ARMY affection. Many simply agreed on one thing: he looked adorable. Comments flooded fandom spaces almost instantly. Jimin.exe stopped working. He got shy and panicked. Why is he the cutest human alive? ARMY embarrassed Jimin again. Stanford Jimin will never leave my mind. And honestly, the reactions only made the moment even sweeter, because beneath all the jokes, there was something undeniably touching about it. Fans weren't laughing at him, they were cherishing him, protecting him, adoring the vulnerable side he unintentionally showed. That's always been one of the strongest parts of Jimin's bond with fans. There's trust there, a kind of emotional understanding. Fans know when he's teasing, they know when he's emotional, and apparently, they definitely know when he's flustered. But there was another reason the Stanford moment hit differently: timing. For many fans, seeing Jimin look genuinely overwhelmed felt symbolic somehow, because BTS Arirang 2026 has already carried enormous emotional weight. The concerts feel bigger, the reunions feel more meaningful. Every smile feels important. Every interaction feels like something fans want to freeze forever. And when Jimin showed that tiny moment of vulnerability, it somehow reminded everyone that, despite the fame, the headlines, and the global spotlight, he's still human, still emotional, still capable of being completely overwhelmed by love. Maybe even especially by love. That realization made Stanford feel emotional for many ARMY, because imagine standing in front of tens of thousands of people screaming your name. Imagine seeing endless banners, hearing fans sing with you, watching an entire stadium glow purple, and then suddenly seeing something that catches you off guard emotionally. Wouldn't anyone freeze for a second? Wouldn't anyone become overwhelmed? Perhaps that's why so many fans related to the moment instantly. because it didn't feel staged. It felt real, messy, unexpected, human, and somehow very Jimin. By the end of the night, Stanford had already become legendary among fans, not because of some huge dramatic event, not because of controversy, not because anything truly went wrong, but because of one tiny, emotional, and unexpectedly funny interaction, a moment where Jimin looked briefly overwhelmed, a moment where fans saw him become adorably flustered, a moment where ARMY once again felt strangely close to him. And honestly, those are often the moments fandom remembers the longest. Not always the biggest performances, not always the loudest stages. Sometimes it's the tiny things, the glance, the smile, the nervous laugh, the shy reaction, the split second where someone unforgettable suddenly feels even more human. And Stanford gave fans exactly that. As clips continued spreading online, one sentiment kept appearing again and again. Jimin deserves all this love. Simple, emotional, completely sincere. Because underneath all the jokes about him panicking, fans understood what they were really seeing. Someone deeply loved. Someone overwhelmed by connection. Someone trying to process thousands of people loving him all at once. And maybe, just maybe, that tiny moment of panic wasn't panic at all. Maybe it was surprise. Maybe it was shyness. Maybe it was Jimin being unexpectedly emotional in front of an audience that loves him endlessly. Whatever it truly was, one thing became clear. Stanford ARMY won't forget it anytime soon, and neither will Jimin, because somewhere inside that massive stadium, between the lights, the cheers, and the overwhelming energy of thousands of fans, there was one small moment